Stop everything you're doing, because I'm about to tell you something that will save you years of frustration and thousands of dollars. The way everyone teaches poker is backwards, completely backwards, and that's why 90% of beginners quit within 6 months, convinced they're just not poker people. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Phil Galfond, one of the greatest poker minds alive, said recently that most poker content is designed for entertainment, not education. That algorithms promote flashy plays over fundamentals. That beginners can't tell the difference between good advice and terrible advice, because they don't have the framework to evaluate it yet. So let me give you that framework right now. The real way to learn Texas Hold'em doesn't start with memorizing hand rankings or watching pros make hero calls. It starts with understanding one revolutionary concept. Poker is learned backwards. Watch this carefully. Most teachers start with here's how to play preflop wrong. You need to start at the river and work backwards. Why? Because poker is a game of stories. Every bet tells a story, and you can't tell a good story if you don't know where it's supposed to end. Think about writing a book. Would you start writing chapter 1 without knowing your ending? No, that's how you create plot holes and confusion. Same with poker. Here's how professionals actually think. They see a river bet and immediately know what story that bet represents. They can trace that story backwards through the turn, through the flop, through pre-flop. They're reverse engineering the hand. Beginners think forward. I have pocket jacks. What should I do? Professionals think backward. What hand makes sense given how this hand was played? So your first lesson isn't about what cards to play. It's about hand reading from the river backwards. Sit down at a free poker table online. Watch hands you're not involved in. When someone bets on the river, ask yourself, what hands would bet here? What hands would check? Then work backwards. On the turn, did their action match the story? On the flop, pre-flop. This exercise does something magical. It teaches you to think like your opponents think, which is infinitely more valuable than memorizing which hands to play. Amanda Botfeld, author of A Girl's Guide to Poker, emphasizes this brilliantly. Poker is cause and effect. If I bet X, my opponent thinks Y. You need to understand the Y before worrying about the X. Now, here's the second revolutionary concept that changes everything. You don't need to learn poker completely before playing. In fact, you shouldn't. Too many people study for months without ever playing. They consume content endlessly. They never take action. This is learning theater, not learning. The real method works like this. Learn one concept. Apply it immediately in ultra-low stakes. Review what happened. Learn the next concept. Apply it. This cycle of learn, apply, review is how adults actually build skills. Children's brains can absorb information without application. Adult brains need context, need experience, need to see why something matters before they can internalize it. So here's your actual first assignment. Learn hand rankings. Not just memorize them, understand why they're ranked that way. A flush beats a straight because it's harder to make. A full house beats a flush for the same reason. Rarity equals value. Spend 10 minutes with this, then play 20 hands of free poker. Don't worry about strategy. Just get comfortable with recognizing what beats what without thinking. But before we go deeper into the real learning method, if you're already realizing traditional poker teaching has been wasting your time, hit subscribe right now. We release the truth about poker every week. No fluff, no entertainment. Pure education that actually works. Don't learn the slow way. Subscribe, and let's do this right. The third revolutionary concept. Soft skills come first, not last. Most courses teach strategy for hours, then add a throwaway chapter about tilt control at the end. Backwards again. Phil Galfond is explicit about this. Soft skills are guardrails that prevent you from veering off the road. Learn them immediately. What are soft skills? Bankroll management so you never go broke. Tilt recognition so you don't throw away money when emotional. Session planning so you play when sharp, not when tilted. These aren't advanced concepts. They're foundational. They protect you from yourself while you're learning everything else. A player with perfect strategy and zero soft skills goes broke. A player with good enough strategy and excellent soft skills builds a career. So assignment to set a stop loss before every session. Decide right now, if I lose X amount, I quit for the day. No exceptions, no one more hand. This simple rule will save you more money than any strategic concept. Because the biggest leak in poker isn't technical mistakes. It's playing when you shouldn't be playing at all.
Now let's talk about the learning method that nobody teaches, but everyone needs. It's called the 25% rule, and it comes from research on how experts actually develop skills. For every hour you play, you should study 25 minutes. Not before, not instead. In addition to playing, here's why this ratio is magical. Most beginners either play constantly without studying, or study endlessly without playing. Both fail. Playing without studying means repeating the same mistakes forever. Studying without playing means learning theory that never converts to practical skill. The 25% ratio forces integration. You play, you notice patterns, you study those specific patterns, you apply the learning. This cycle is how expertise actually develops. But here's the key that most training sites miss. Your study sessions must be active, not passive. Watching a video while half paying attention. That's entertainment, not study. Real study means taking notes, choosing one key concept per session, creating a specific practice goal. This session, I will work on continuation betting in position. Then you play with that singular focus. BlackRain79, who's been crushing online poker professionally for over 10 years, emphasizes this relentlessly. He calls it learning with purpose. Most players study random topics based on whatever video looks interesting. Professionals identify their specific leaks, study that exact weakness, practice it deliberately, measure improvement, then move to the next leak. This targeted approach is exponentially faster than random learning. Here's assignment 3. After your next session, write down one specific mistake you made. Not "I played bad," something specific. "I called a river bet with middle pair when the board showed a flush." That's your study topic. Find one video or article explaining that exact situation. Take notes. Next session, focus specifically on not repeating that mistake. This is how you actually improve. Now, the fourth revolutionary concept, position before cards. Every beginner learns hand rankings first. That's fine, but the second thing should be position, not which hands to play, because which hands to play depends entirely on position. A hand that's garbage in early position becomes profitable in late position. Daniel Negreanu teaches beginners his famous 10s or better rule. Only play hands where both cards are 10 or higher. This works because it's simple and keeps beginners out of trouble. But once you understand position, this rule expands dramatically. In late position, you can play suited connectors, small pairs, as-rag suited. In early position, you need premium hands only. Why does position matter so much? Information asymmetry. Acting last means seeing what everyone does before deciding. That's power. That's profit. Acting first means guessing what everyone will do. That's guessing. That's losing. Position is so valuable that professional players will play 40% of hands on the button, and only 50% in early position, same cards. Different profitability based purely on information advantage. Assignment for: track your win rate by position for 50 hands. You'll discover you lose money in early position and make money in late position. This won't be because you're unlucky. It'll be because position is that powerful. Once you see the data, you'll never forget this lesson. The fifth revolutionary concept. Aggression is default, not optional. Most beginners play passively. They call, hoping to see what happens. They check, hoping their opponent checks. They're reactive, not proactive. This is expensive. Aggression controls the hand. When you bet, your opponent must react. They fold, call, or raise. All three give you information. When you check, you learn nothing. Here's the framework that simplifies this. When you're first to act, you have two choices: bet or check. If your hand has value, bet. If your hand has no value, but the board is scary, bet anyway. Only check when your hand has no value and the board isn't scary. That's it. This simple rule keeps you aggressive by default, which wins money. Listen carefully. What I'm teaching you right now is fundamentally different from any other poker course. This is the methodology used by Phil Galfond, BlackRain79, and every successful player I've studied. If you want the complete system, not just fragments. Our Elite Poker University gives you over 50 advanced video lessons using this exact backwards first application-focused approach. More than 200 detailed hand examples with the Learn-Apply review cycle built in. Downloadable cheat sheets for every concept. 17 hours of proven strategies that actually stick. Link in description and pinned comments. But keep watching, because what comes next is the most important part. The sixth revolutionary concept. Study with others, or don't study at all. Learning poker alone is possible but painfully slow. Phil Galfond calls learning with others a hack unlike any other. Why? Because discussing hands forces you to articulate your thinking. You can't hide fuzzy logic when someone asks, "Why did you bet there?" This exposure accelerates clarity. Find a study partner. Join a poker forum. Post hands and ask for feedback. Read other people's hand analyses. Seeing how different players think about the same situation expands your strategic vocabulary faster than any solo study. This collaborative learning isn't just helpful. For most people, it's necessary. Now I'm going to give you the progression system that actually works. Not a random collection of tips, an actual sequence that builds skill on skill. This is the system professionals use to reach the top, even if they don't explicitly realize it. Phase 1, Mechanics and Soft Skills. 2 weeks maximum. Learn hand rankings, game flow, blinds, betting rounds. Simultaneously learn bankroll rules, stop-loss discipline, and tilt recognition. Play free or micro stakes. Goal isn't winning. Goal is comfort with the game's rhythm while protecting yourself from yourself. You're building guardrails before driving fast. Phase 2, Position and Starting Hands. 2 weeks. Learn which positions are strong, which are weak. Learn basic starting hand ranges. Premium hands from any position. Broadway hands from middle position. Speculative hands from late position only. Play very tight. Fold constantly. This feels boring. That's correct. You're learning discipline, which is more valuable than any single strategic concept. Phase 3. Post-flop fundamentals. For weeks, learn continuation betting. Learn pot odds basics. Learn how to recognize scary boards versus safe boards. Learn when to give up on a hand. This phase is where most beginners struggle because there's actual thinking required now. Pre-flop is mostly charts, post-flop is judgment. Embrace the difficulty. That difficulty is where growth happens. Phase 4. Hand reading and adaptation. Ongoing forever. Learn to put opponents on ranges, not specific hands. Learn to identify player types: tight, loose, aggressive, passive. Learn to adjust your strategy against each type. This phase never ends. Even professionals work on this daily. It's the infinite depth that makes poker endlessly fascinating. Notice what's not in this progression: advanced GTO, fancy bluffs, exploitative adjustments against specific opponents. Those come much later, after you've built the foundation. Most beginners skip straight to advanced concepts because they look cooler. Then they wonder why they can't win consistently. You can't build a house starting with the roof. Here's assignment 5, and this one will change everything. Pick one hand you played recently where you're unsure if you made the right decision. Not a hand you clearly misplayed. Not a hand you played perfectly. A hand where you genuinely don't know. Post it in a poker forum, or discuss it with a study partner. Read the responses carefully. Don't defend your play. Just listen and learn. This single exercise teaches more than 10 hours of passive video watching. The 7th revolutionary concept: volume matters, but only quality volume. Some people think playing 10,000 hands makes them experienced. It doesn't. Playing 10,000 hands while thinking deeply about each decision makes you experienced. Playing 10,000 hands on autopilot makes you experienced at playing badly. Here's how to ensure quality volume. Play fewer tables than you think you can handle. Most beginners jump to 4 tables because they're bored playing 1. Bad move. Play 1 table. Think about every decision. Why am I betting? Why am I folding? What does my opponent's action mean? This deliberate thinking builds the neural pathways that eventually become intuition. Rush through hands and you're just spinning your wheels. The 8th revolutionary concept: tools accelerate learning but don't replace thinking. Preflop charts tell you what to play. Range viewers show you what hands are possible. Odds calculators compute your equity. These tools are valuable, but they're supplements, not substitutes. Use them to check your thinking, not to replace your thinking. Here's the right way to use tools. Make your decision first. Then check the chart or calculator. If they match, great. If they don't, understand why. This forces you to learn the underlying principles instead of becoming dependent on external crutches. Eventually, the goal is to internalize the charts so deeply that you don't need them anymore. The 9th revolutionary concept: your goal isn't to never make mistakes. Your goal is to make new mistakes, not repeat old ones. Every player makes mistakes. The difference is, winners make each mistake once, learn from it, and never repeat it. Losers make the same 5 mistakes 10,000 times and blame bad luck. Start a poker journal today. After every session, write down 1 mistake. Over time, you'll notice you stop making those mistakes and start making different ones. That's progress. That's growth. When you're making mistakes you've never made before, you're reaching new skill levels. This perspective transforms frustration into fuel. Assignment 6. Right now, commit to 3 study sessions this week. Not playing sessions, study sessions. 25 minutes each, where you review hands, take notes from a video, or discuss strategy with a partner. Schedule them in your calendar. Treat them like appointments. This is your commitment to actually improving, not just hoping to improve. Here's the truth that separates players who succeed from players who quit. Poker rewards systematic effort, not talent, not luck, systematic effort over time. You don't need to be brilliant. You need to be consistent. Show up every week, study a little, play a little, review your mistakes, fix them, repeat. In 6 months, you'll be unrecognizable compared to today. But here's the part nobody tells you. The first 3 months will feel like you're not improving. You'll make mistakes, you'll lose, you'll feel confused. That's normal. That's everyone. The players who push through that phase and keep showing up, they're the ones who build 10-year careers. The players who quit because it's hard at first, they're the 90% who disappear. Listen, you now have the complete roadmap that professionals actually use to learn poker. Not the fake watch videos and magically get better nonsense. The real method. Learn backwards. Apply immediately. Study with purpose. Progress systematically. This is rare knowledge. Most players never figure this out. If you want the complete implementation of this system, our Elite Poker University is built specifically on these principles. Over 50 advanced video lessons using learn-apply review cycles, more than 200 detailed hand examples with backwards first analysis, downloadable cheat sheets for immediate application, 17 hours following this exact progression system. Everything you need to go from confused beginner to confident winner. Link in description and pinned comments. This is Mind of Grinder, and you've just learned something extraordinary. The real way to learn Texas Hold'em isn't what everyone teaches. It's backwards, first application, focused, systematic, and it works. Now your only decision is simple. Will you use this knowledge? Or will you go back to hoping random videos make you better? Because poker rewards action, not intention. Subscribe to this channel right now if you're ready for more truth. Drop a comment telling me which phase you're starting with. Hit that like button if this finally made learning poker make sense. The real path is clear. The system is proven. The only question left is, are you ready to walk it? Let's go. Let's learn right. Let's win together. Let me end with the secrets that will carry you from beginner to advanced faster than anything else. These are insights from 10+ years of professional poker that nobody packages together like this. Secret 1. Online is your laboratory. Live is your profit center. Online poker lets you play 90 hands per hour. Live poker is 30. That's 3 times the learning speed online. Plus, online tracking software shows you exactly where you're leaking money, your fold percentage, your aggression factor, your win rate by position. This data is gold for learning. Use online poker to build skills cheaply and quickly. Then take those skills to live poker where the competition is softer and the profit is higher. Secret 2. Play one stake level for much longer than you think you should. Ego wants to move up quickly. I'm beating 50-cent games. Time to play $5 games. No, stay at 50 cents until you're crushing it so thoroughly that it's boring. Why? Because moving up prematurely is the fastest way to lose your bankroll and your confidence. Build overwhelming competence at each level before advancing. Patience here is profit later. Secret 3. The players you study with matter more than the content you consume. A mediocre training video discussed with sharp players is more valuable than excellent content consumed alone. The discussion forces critical thinking. It exposes assumptions. It reveals blind spots. Find your people. Learn together. This collaborative approach accelerates growth exponentially. Secret 4. You will experience multiple aha moments where everything suddenly clicks. The first comes around month 3 when you finally understand position viscerally, not just intellectually. The second around month 6 when hand reading becomes intuitive. The third around month 12 when you start seeing the game in ranges instead of specific hands. These moments feel magical, but they're not luck. They're the result of cumulative learning reaching critical mass. Trust the process. The clicks are coming. Secret 5. Your early results are meaningless. Completely meaningless. You'll have a great week and think you've cracked poker. You'll have a terrible week and think you're hopeless. Both are wrong. Poker variance is so high that you need thousands of hands before results mean anything. Focus on process, not results. Are you making better decisions today than last week? That's the only metric that matters early on. Now, let me give you the 30-day quick start that implements everything we've discussed. Week 1. Learn mechanics and soft skills. Play free tables. Focus purely on comfort and discipline. Week 2. Add position and starting hands. Play ultra-tight fold constantly. Track your win rate by position. Week 3. Add continuation betting and pot odds. Start thinking post-flop. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Week 4. Add basic hand reading. Try to put opponents on ranges. Discuss hands with a study partner. Review everything. After 30 days following this plan, you'll be ahead of 95% of beginners. Not because you're naturally talented, because you learn the right way, in the right sequence, with the right focus. This systematic approach beats talent every time. Here's your final assignment, and it's the most important one. Commit to 90 days of systematic learning. 3 months. That's all. Apply everything in this lesson. Follow the progression. Study 25% of your playtime. Keep a poker journal. Find study partners. Use tools to check your thinking. Make new mistakes, not old ones. Just 90 days of this system. I promise you'll be unrecognizable as a poker player. Not because 90 days makes you an expert, but because 90 days of proper learning builds a foundation that lasts forever. The vast majority of poker players never improve because they never have a system. They study randomly, they play randomly, they hope randomly. You now have the system. The question isn't whether it works. It does. The question is whether you'll execute it. Will you put in the systematic effort? Will you be patient through the learning curve? Will you trust the process, even when results don't show immediately? Because here's what I know from training thousands of players. The ones who follow systematic plans succeed at wildly disproportionate rates. Not because they're smarter, not because they're luckier, because they execute a proven process with discipline. That discipline is learnable. You can develop it, starting right now. Today, this moment. Poker is not about memorizing charts or making hero calls. Poker is about developing a skill systematically, practicing it deliberately, and improving continuously. It's about showing up week after week, making slightly better decisions, learning from mistakes, and trusting that cumulative effort creates transformation. That's the real way to learn Texas Hold'em, not shortcuts, not tricks. Just systematic, purposeful effort over time. You can do this, not because you're special, because the method works for everyone who applies it. The roadmap is clear. The progression is proven. The tools are available. The only variable is your commitment. Are you ready to commit 90 days to this process? Are you ready to learn the right way? Are you ready to become the poker player you've always wanted to be? This is Mind of Grinder. You've just received the complete beginner's roadmap to Texas Hold'em, the real way, the proven way, the way that actually works. If you want the full implementation of this system with structured lessons, detailed examples, and progressive training, our Elite Poker University delivers everything. Over 50 advanced video lessons, more than 200 hand examples, downloadable cheat sheets, 17 hours of proven strategies, built on the exact principles you learned today. Learn backwards, apply immediately, progress systematically. Link in description and pinned comments. Subscribe to this channel right now for more truth about poker. Real education, no fluff. Every week, drop a comment telling me you're committing to the 90-day plan. Hit that like button if this changed how you see poker learning, because this is your moment, your chance, your path. The table is set, the system is proven. The only thing left is your decision. Let's learn right, let's grow together, let's win. Welcome to the real way.